Hello, and welcome to the very first installation of my character building series on YouTube. My name is Justin Miller, and today I'm going to be talking about transferring a character design to a new facial expression. In other words, we're going to be taking an existing picture of a character, and we're going to be taking that over and creating a new expression based off of the information that the original gives us. And in this case, what I'm doing here is I'm tracing over this clip I've taken out of one of my previous designs, and I'm just tracing over the head and the volume of the chin, so that all that's left is just this very basic mass that it would represent for a head in a very early stage of a drawing. And this is going to be our foundation for building a new expression off of that, using squash and stretch and all the classical cartooning principles we've all heard about. See, I'm filling in the volume here so I can get a good silhouette on it. Scaling it up. And now we're going to be including, this is where I pick up on the second copy of that, the head, the expression that we're moving into, which is going to be this deformed version of the first head, right? It's deformed because I'm making a face. And in this case, the face I'm making is kind of like just imagine something disgusting that you just eaten, or, that kind of a ugh kind of a face. I wanted to make sure that the expression was something that was going to be really, exaggerated, so you could still see that you can transfer over that, that pliability in the face without losing the design from the original. So that's what we're doing here. And you can see in making that face, the jaw pulls back, right? The jaw pulls back and creates this kind of dimple effect in the lower jaw in the front on the profile view. That's what you see on the right there. While on the left, you can see that I'm still kind of analyzing and breaking down the original by, drawing the center line of the previous design and the turning edges, as well as the cheek shape there. It kind of helps define the form of what was there before. So, and on the right now, you can see I'm starting to get the beginnings of an eye mask in, which would be again defined by the turning edges and so on and so forth there. And here I'm starting to explore the cheek shape now. And on the left, you can see the cheek shape is this oval kind of thing. I picked that. It was a nice little trick that another YouTuber artist, Sikria, he has a great series of videos actually, and very informative, very helpful. First gave me the idea for using that, but also then to modify it as well. So how can I modify this in my head to accommodate for expressions? Well, I just simply started looking at my own face in the mirror, and when I made this face, I would start to examine and closely pay attention to what that expression did to that surface that was on the side there. How does it change the shape? And I noticed that it created a dimple, oddly enough, not really oddly enough, but kind of expectedly, just as there was a dimple on the left, or I guess in the profile view side of the turning edge, it's going to do the same thing on the interior side. So, and it's going to affect that cheek shape that way. You can almost imagine that if you were turned the head 90 degrees, and the interior side would become the profile view, right? And the same thing and that's why it would look that same way, right? It's a symmetrical expression. So you expect that plane to be, indented the same as the other side. That's what's going on there. You see now I've filled in a lot more in terms of the mouth shape. You can see I've added a lip shape, and starting to work in the hair there, going back and forth, trying to stay on model. And the hair's not going to change that much in this kind of a drawing from the original. And now we're moving into the next phase, which is, refining. Now we've kind of gotten a handle on all the different kind of main volumes of the face. You get the mouth shape, the eye mask, and all modified for this expression, right? But all based on the same volumes. I've added a tongue here. Excuse me. So all we're doing right now is basically, just cleaning up what the foundation was before. Layering in starting to layer in our style, which is for me mostly usually going to be a Disney-esque kind of style to work with. I've always admired it, so it's something I gravitate towards naturally. You see, I pushed out the profile cheek as well because it wasn't very well defined in the previous pass, but it's something I picked up on and was able to correct. You're going to find that there will be, little things and mistakes that you've made before, but the fact that you keep it loose in the beginning, like, if you keep it loose and not terribly over-defined in the early stages, you find it much easier to correct things because you're not married to it, right? So that helps a lot. I must say also the very easy ability in this program, which is Mischief, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it already, is very easy ability to flip the canvas back and forth, which if you're doing this kind of work, especially with heads and even anything with perspective, really, anytime you flip back and forth, it really helps you catch your mistakes before they happen in terms of perspective errors, keeping things on even keel that way. Very effective. See, I made the tongue a little too large, I think. It was kind of getting to this point of unpleasantness. And I don't want it to be unpleasant. I want her to look like she's having an unpleasant experience without actually her, becoming unappealing herself. So, I'm flipping back and forth again. And just as a side note here, if you define these forms with like I said, with the cheek shape and the eye mask and all that kind of stuff, what it really helps doing later on is like you're setting yourself up for success later. Because I think this is even in Sykria's video, and I'll give him props for this, for bringing it up, was that you can use these same planes for lighting, right? And so you've already got like half your battle already won that way. The information is already there, just it's just a matter of interpreting it through shading and lighting, if that's what you want to do next. So, I've also got the nose shape there. I'm clarifying the nose shape, making it consistent with the rest of the perspective of the face. Pushing the expression a little bit more in the bottoms of the mouth there. Experimenting a little bit by seeing if I can tweak some of the expression lines a bit. I would consider this to be, after this pass, I would consider this to be like 2/3 of the way there in terms of process. The only thing left really would be to do final cleanup and shading and lighting there, which I don't go all the way in this video, but I do partial, just to get a little bit more sense of volume and depth. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. There you go. If you like this video and want to see more, click subscribe. Want to tell me what to draw? You can. click on the link to my Patreon page.